when they get a
Yeah.
pay rise, they tend to
Yeah.
buy more expensive things, like, upgrading your
Mm-hmm.
lifestyle. And so they don't create the
Mm.
opportunity to make money work for them.
This is the Ellie
And Lee, show.
Show.
So we just started reading the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad,
Mm-hmm.
and we wanted to have a discussion about chapter one, like some of the main points that we thought were interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
It's the quote from the chapter one, right?
yeah, so it's not direct quotes. We just put it into our own words, and then yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we wanted to just make a few points about it that we found were worth highlighting.
Yeah, and then we just didn't want to deal with the copyright.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so I'll go with the first one.
Mm-hmm.
All
Mm-hmm.
right. So most people just work for money, but the rich people make their money
Mm-hmm.
work for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I looked at it more as in, how do you become that rich person? And
Mm-hmm.
then like what I was thinking about is that a lot of people when they get a
Yeah.
pay rise, they tend to
Yeah.
buy more expensive things, like, upgrading your
Mm-hmm.
lifestyle. And so they don't create the
Mm.
opportunity to make money work for them.
You cannot just make money work for them from like $10.
Well, I think I've seen some YouTube videos where you can do it without having money, but obviously
Oh,
having
okay.
money gives you more opportunities. And if you don't have the money, then
Ah.
you kind
Uh-huh.
of have to let some things pass.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, like if you take the money that you make and you
Uh-huh.
don't spend it on upgrading, but then kind of like the way I see it is planting the seeds to grow a tree.
Mm.
Like once the tree has
Oh.
grown, then you can,
Mhm.
you can harvest the fruit, and then those are kind of like getting money out of your assets.
I think I heard the word seed money.
So yeah, I think the other thing that I noted was that there's kind of like a misconception, in my opinion, that
Mm-hmm.
for someone to gain money, someone else has to lose money. Like to me, I think that,
Mm.
money can be created, through adding value to someone's life. Yeah.
Like how?
So, like, if you think of someone starting a business, obviously they had to gain the knowledge to create whatever product it might be, like, let's say an
Mm.
app. And then, if people value that app, like, let's say it's just a simple game, but it helps them de-stress, then obviously they're going to pay for it. But it's not like that
Mm-hmm.
person that created the app is now stealing their money. People are willingly
Ah,
giving
okay.
their money because it's something that gives them, some kind of value in their life.
So in that aspect, like it's a misconception, but
Yeah.
like another situation, I think it is not a misconception.
Or what kind of situation?
Because like usually when I think about the rich, maybe
Hmm.
like CEO of a company, usually the distribution of wealth sometimes seems too unfair.
It
I mean, I'm
seems.
not talking about, yeah, I'm not talking about communism or
Yeah, yeah.
socialism, but like the balance is too extreme.
Unequal. Oh, okay. Yeah, extreme. But that's the thing, like, that's the perception because, well, I'm not exactly on the side of anyone in this case, but like, if
Mm-hmm.
you think how large the company it is that the
Mm-hmm.
CEOs and stuff like that have to manage,
Mm-hmm.
their decisions obviously play a large factor in the success of the company. So if they screw up, it's going to be, it could be the death of the company. So, you
Okay.
get paid for the fact that you managing such large assets and such a big company. So I think in that case, it's kind of fair.
So you're saying since the responsibility of the CEO is huge,
Yeah.
it's fair
It's,
enough for them to get
mm,
a lot of money.
yeah, because the thing is, it's not just about like them getting money. It's like they have the responsibility and they
Okay.
have to have a
Mm-hmm.
certain level of competence.
Okay, that's understandable. Then what about property speculation?
I don't know anything about property speculation.
I'm saying like if someone became a rich from the property speculation, it's not illegal, like morally wrong.
Well, the thing is, if there's an opportunity and you're not committing a crime, in my opinion, why not take that opportunity? The thing is, like
That's
the way I view it, it might not be the most socially acceptable thing, but like those that are willing to take the risk, those that are willing to work for an opportunity, then, you
mhm.
know, if they get uh, value out of that, if they get, you know, a lot of money out of that, then so be it. They're free
But
to
like
do it.
sometimes it has problem of information inequality. So maybe someone got the information from another that, oh, this land will increase its value because of hidden information. Only limited people can access to it, so it might be also fair.
Yeah, in some ways it could be unfair, but at the same time, it's like if you're in the right position, if you know the right people, then that's
Hmm.
kind of how you move forward in life. It's not all
Okay.
about like the effort you put into it. It's a lot about, you know, the relationships you have with others and, you know, there is some factor of luck, I think. Yeah, what do you think about the quote?
I think there are two main ways to make money. So
Yeah.
first, getting hired by other people, which is just work for the company.
Mm.
And the second one is getting hired by yourself. So like for example, the first option,
Yeah.
you can only create limited value out of it.
Yeah.
So I heard that the more you put values to others' life, the more you would get money out of it. So if you work for other people, you wouldn't like put that much values to others. But for example, if you have your own business,
Yeah.
since you are since the process belongs to you, like it has more chance to put the values to others' life. So like
Mm.
from that, like you can make like relatively lots of seed money from it, and then maybe have chance to invest more.
Yeah.
And then like
So the only thing.
the
Mm.
thing is that if you think about money, you cannot really start or
Yeah.
maintain a business because like maybe first several years you wouldn't get paid at all, or you need to sacrifice your time too much. So it's obviously not working for money.
So the thing
Uh-huh.
about having your own
Uh-huh.
business is that I don't necessarily think that it makes you rich if you
Mm-hmm.
have a business.
Okay.
Like it depends on the business, in my opinion,
Ah,
because
yeah.
if you look at the
Mm-hmm.
example of a hairdresser,
Ah.
then like that person's time
Uh-huh.
to what they get paid is like almost one to one. They have to work for them to
Oh,
get paid.
yeah.
So it's
Mm-hmm.
not really a case of where, they making money work for them. So I think it also depends on what kind of entrepreneurship you
That's
do.
true. Yeah.
I think what you want to end up doing is like with a business, you want to spend time to get it
Mm-hmm.
started. That's that's kind of obvious, but then there should be a period where you can kind of step back. Maybe you hire a few
Yeah.
managers, or you have some residual income, like the case you gave with an app. If you can put in the time to make that app, and then you just get like in-app purchases or subscriptions or something like that, then
Mm-hmm.
that's where you're kind of building an asset and making money work for
Mm-hmm.
you.
If you're enjoying this video so far,
Please like and subscribe. Life will push you around. There are some people that fight back and learn a lesson. So, from the other book we are reading about the personality,
yeah,
it analyzes personality with five aspects. And
mm,
then one of the aspects in there
yeah,
is neuroticism.
oh, yeah,
So, as you know, I was highly neurotic before.
yeah.
Okay, neurotic now, I guess. So,
You've improved a lot, I can say.
yeah, so on behalf of neurotic people,
Yeah,
I can say there are some people who could not easily recover from setbacks.
mm, okay.
And there is another who can do it easily. So I think like it depends on personality. But I think people can change their personality, but still like it's based on their personality if they can overcome the pushes from life or not.
Yeah, so I think like the personality book that we're reading
Uh,
kind of sheds another light on this book as we're reading it, because,
Yeah.
it's my belief that if you had to test all of, like, let's say the top 100 most successful people, then I'm sure you'd see some kind of similarities in personality, like
Yeah.
maybe more disagreeable or something like that. Because being disagreeable means that you can kind of push what you want instead of just catering to other people. Obviously there's a balance, but it would be interesting if that kind of test was ever conducted.
So I'm just wondering if there is any CEO who is agreeable and super successful. I think there would be.
Yeah, I don't know. It would kind of be an interesting case though, because like as a CEO, you obviously have to make the hard decisions of, maybe hiring and firing your managers, or you might have to deal with board members. And the thing is, if you're a CEO, you want to take the business in a direction that you feel is best. If you're catering to everyone, then you're also catering to like the fears of the shareholders and stuff like that. So it would be interesting. If there is, then, that would be quite an interesting interview to listen to. And then, like, for my opinion, I thought that, yeah, it's about understanding that there's some things you can control and some things you can't. And then, like, what I think is that if you learn how to overcome obstacles in life, then it
Yeah.
allows you to better understand what you're capable of changing.
So you're saying some pushes you can deal with, but there is obviously something that you cannot really deal with.
Well, like the example I was just thinking of now is think of a boxer and think of his opponent being life. There's going to be
Okay.
a lot of punches that you're going to end up having to deal with. Let's call them obstacles. But if you've done a lot of training and you have the reflexes in that, then you'll be able to deal with it a lot better than someone just off the street dealing with a professional boxer. So, it comes to figuring out what you're capable of and pushing those limits. And then obviously it takes experiencing the issue to learn how to get better at it. Because I think often, especially with like when you just out of university, so a lot of the knowledge you get would come from the textbook and very little from experience. I think
Yeah,
that
that's
only
true.
once you experience it, then you can say, oh, okay, it might be different from what I've read. And then you can make those adjustments and get better at dealing with that kind of situation.
It needs intelligence.
Well, obviously you do need some form of intelligence, but
Some form of.
also just dealing with a problem, you get better at dealing with it after the fact. Obviously, how quickly you do it, that may be linked to intelligence, I'm not sure. But then the last point I wanted to make is that, yeah, to me, the world is always changing, and there's, you can't stop some of those changes. So it's better to learn how to adapt to the change, but as well as push your own way. To me, that's better than, just complaining and not acting on your frustrations. Obviously, there's a time and place to complain. That's fair. But if you're only complaining and you're doing nothing to change, then, you can't expect things to change. There
That's
has to,
true.
yeah.
But like,
Although it's not like one to one, there has to be some action for a reaction to take place.
but like as I say, like it's not ideal, but sometimes being in a frustration and not doing anything, or being in an anger, like that kinds of extreme emotions, it is addictive. That's what I think.
Yeah, the thing is that while it might be addictive, and obviously there could be some value to it, because
There
what I think is
would
that
be.
what I think is that like your emotions kind of fuel your actions. Because if you
Okay.
start thinking you want to do something or something's frustrating you, it'll kind of drive you to doing something. Because if you feel indifferent about
Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah, if you feel indifferent about something, then you're not really going to care to do anything about it. But if you have some sort of interest in it and some emotional investment, then it'll kind of push you towards it.
So like I really think that it's really important to learn how to challenge your gain after your setbacks or frustrations, but
Yeah.
like where can people gain this
Uh,
quality from?
I would just like to add that I'm not a psychologist, I'm not an investor.
Yeah,
This-
you're not. Just
I
you're
definitely
casually
don't
talking.
have, yeah,
No,
I
what do you
definitely don't
think?
have the answers.
Mm.
So the thing is, you always want to have a clear mind when you make decisions, right?
Clear mind. Like, how do you define clear mind?
Like if you're
Like
angry, yeah,
calm, calm.
like calm, like bringing your emotions down to some kind of baseline. You
Mhm.
know, it's never going to be perfect, but the thing is, like, you want to be able to think more objectively, or at least take yourself out of the situation to see whether or not
Mm.
what you want to do or what you're thinking of doing is right or wrong. Because like
Mm.
if you're just thinking on, you know, like the feeling that you have, like if you're really angry, then your thoughts
Mm.
might be related to like destruction, which is not good. So
Mm.
I think it's obviously you can't stop yourself from being frustrated or angry, but you can figure out, you know, how you can calm yourself down and then, you know, work on how you can resolve the issue.
Okay.
So then there's, yeah, so what I think is like, if you're going to get frustrated, that's fine, that's fair, we're all human. But then
Mhm.
just take time to get yourself down to like a baseline and then, you know, try and figure things out. Because ultimately the thing is, if something's frustrating you, then, you know, maybe that's where you can change.
That's true.
Yeah,
I'll work on it then. Thank you.
we'll work on it, don't worry. Yeah. Please consider liking and subscribing. It really helps us out.
Thanks for watching. See
See
you.
you.